as a Buddhist monk, there's certain places in Perth I will avoid. And if you catch me there, you won't be impressed. Why? Because one realizes that there's dangers in that place. That's why they have red lights. It says danger. So part of our training is not to be colorblind. Yes? Yes? You have to be aware that there is red. Avoid it. That area, that situation, that environment does not lead to the growth of peace, virtue and understanding. There's the so-called temptations of life. And some people, the red light should go on when they pass the fridge. Yes. That's a red light district for you. But I can't comment on that because people are saying I've put on a lot of weight since I've been in Thailand, so I should be careful on what I say. We can see that we can get ourselves into difficult situations if we don't avoid certain environments, don't encourage our children to avoid certain environments. You know, one of the things as adults we're teaching our children where there's danger, where it's safe to go, where it's safe to travel, who it's safe to be with. Because what we want them to do is have freedom from danger. So there's certain freedoms which lead to more peace. And the freedoms to follow desire sometimes does not lead to peace. It leads to problems, it leads to conflict, and it can lead to great pain and suffering. So having that awareness of areas to avoid. And so some unwholesome states can be overcome just by avoidance. I've commented on this before. I read an experiment where in America they watched how many hours children watch television, and then they watched the average movie, and they saw that in the average movies there was X number of murders in a movie, and then they multiplied that by the average number of hours a person watches from the age of 0 to 20, and they calculated that the average person saw 20,000 murders on television by the time they reached 20 years old. And what does that have, and what does that do to this mind of ours, which is a very sensitive, very delicate thing, which is influenced and conditioned by what we feed into it. So by avoiding, by purposely choosing to say, you know, if they'd seen 20,000 acts of compassion, maybe there would be a different response in our societies. But when we're feeding and grandizing violence in society, then we see that there is consequences that result. And so avoiding certain things which will bring up anger, which will bring up selfishness, which will bring up greed, which will bring up confusion, is skillful behaviour, is wise behaviour, is a wise strategy, the Buddha said. And when we develop, say, virtuous behaviour, harmlessness, integrity, honesty, truthfulness, virtue, and clarity, sobriety, then we're developing these qualities which are not only compassionate to ourselves but compassionate to others. give happiness to ourselves and give great happiness to others. And then the Buddha said that there's actually another strategy which is very important,